Oh, pirates, yes, they robbed by, sold out to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hands were made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing?
That was Bob Marley's Redemption Song, as remixed by Dub Dogs and Michael Prado. Welcome to the Rise Weekly Review for October 4th through October 18th, 2021. Two men were killed in a shooting in Hammond on Thursday, the 7th. Around 3:35 a.m., police arrived at the scene of a shooting and found 27-year-old DeAndre Easter of Calumet City slumped in the passenger seat of a car. Searching the area, they found the body of a 26-year-old man identified as Daniel Gomez of East Chicago in a nearby yard. Easter was found with a gunshot wound to the head. Gomez had been found with multiple gunshot wounds. Both men were declared dead at the scene. Anyone with information on this shooting is asked to contact Hammond Police Detective Sergeant Sean Ford at 219-852-2998. On Thursday the 14th into Friday, a large manhunt in Tinley Park had occurred that was connected to a shooting in Poston and had possible ties to the murders in Hammond. Around 10 p.m. Thursday night, a Tinley Park officer saw a vehicle that matched the description for both shootings heading north on Ridgeland Avenue. A chase began but ended when the vehicle crashed into railroad tracks near Ridgeland Avenue and Oak Forest Avenue. Following the crash, three suspects fled on foot in different directions. Tinley Park Emergency Services issued a Code Red alert in a 1.5-mile radius of the crash. Illinois State Police, the South Suburban Emergency Response Team, and Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System Mutual Aid Response Team, and the Cook County Sheriff's Police Hostage Barricade Unit were sent to the scene to join Tinley Park officers. Bloodhounds and canines were used to aid in the search. During the chase, a 17-year-old was apprehended, but the two others remained at large. The search ran into the night. By 5 a.m., police had called off the search for the two other suspects. Tinley Park police were asking residents to check and report anything caught on home surveillance systems Thursday night by contacting 708-532-9111. On Friday the 8th, a 41-year-old was wounded in a South Chicago shooting. Around 11:25 p.m., the man was walking on the 8500 block of South Escanaba. According to reports, someone in a gray sedan drove up and fired shots at the man. He was struck in the leg. The man was taken to Advocate Trinity Hospital and last reported in good condition. Anyone with information on this or other Chicago crimes can call 311 or leave an anonymous tip at tpdtip.com. On Tuesday the 13th, a 17-year-old was critically wounded in a South Shore shooting. Around 7:35 p.m., the teen was walking down the street on the 7600 block of South Phillips. There are few details as to how the shooting took place. However, the teen was shot in the chest and taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was last reported in critical condition. On Wednesday the 13th, a 22-year-old was injured in a South Shore shooting. Around 11:55 p.m., the 22-year-old was sitting in a parked car on the 7600 block of South Saginaw. Reports say someone in a black ski mask approached the vehicle and began firing shots. The man was hit in the shoulder and drove himself to South Shore Hospital. From there, he was transferred to the University of Chicago Medical Center and last reported in serious condition. On Friday the 15th, the 30-year-old was wounded in a South Shore shooting. The man was walking on the sidewalk on the 7500 block of South Shore Drive around 8:45 p.m. According to reports, someone walked up on the man and fired shots at him. He was struck in the legs and left arm. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center and last reported in fair condition. A man is in custody after firing shots at Calumet City police officers in a barricade situation Saturday morning. According to reports, around 9:35 a.m., police arrived to a residence on the 500 block of Madison Street for a report of a woman cut by glass. Officers reported a 44-year-old woman was found with lacerations to her wrists and foot following a domestic altercation with a man believed to be 43. When officers attempted to make contact with the man, he ran into a bedroom and barricaded himself inside. He then reportedly fired multiple shots towards the officers, who returned fire. The South Suburban Emergency Response Team was sent to the scene and also fired upon by the suspect several times. Over the course of several hours, the suspect remained in the room before finally being taken into custody around 7 p.m., without further incident. No injuries were reported on the suspect or officers. Anyone with information on Calumet City crimes can contact 708-868-2500 or leave an anonymous tip at 708-891-STOP. A Calumet City family is offering a reward for information leading to the arrest of a father murdered over the summer. 42-year-old Kawan Fields was shot during a carjacking on July 22nd on the 1600 block of Sibley Boulevard at around 6 p.m. Fields was the father of 3 children. He spent the past 3 years working for a pest control service and was beloved by his coworkers and family. The family is offering a $10,000 reward for information that can lead to an arrest in the case. Anyone with information can call 219-301-1841. On Friday the 15th, a car crash in South Shore left a 4-year-old child and 3 others critically injured. The crash happened on 75th in Dorchester. The Chicago Fire Department stated 3 passengers and a child were in critical condition. A 27-year-old female along with 2 males aged 27 and 22 were taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center. The 4-year-old male child was taken to Comer's Children's Hospital. No further details were released at the time of this reporting. In an update to a story we previously reported on, police have released more details on the crash into the Paradise Liquor Store in Whiting. The crash occurred around 7:56 p.m. on August 31st at the store located on 1506 119th Street. The vehicle had struck 2 other vehicles before crashing into the wall of the store. The crash injured a woman who received a gash on her leg and was taken to the hospital. Inside the vehicle was a man identified as 41-year-old William Qualls, Jr. of Whiting, a woman, and 5 children ages 8 through 12. Qualls and the woman initially told police a vehicle malfunction caused the crash. However, after an investigation, detectives found that Qualls had the 12-year-old on his lap and was allowing him to operate the vehicle. Qualls is being charged with criminal recklessness committed with a deadly weapon and 5 counts of neglect of a dependent. On Thursday the 14th, a lockdown at Hammond area schools was initiated but later lifted. The lockdown at Morton High School and Scott Middle School was initiated following social media threats that featured an image of a gun. The image was shared on Wednesday night on Snapchat. During the lockdown, no one was allowed into the buildings and those inside were prohibited from leaving. The lockdown was in effect from 11 a.m. Bags were checked for students entering the building and everyone was subjected to a wand search. The lockdown was ended around 1 p.m. Police are searching for the person making the threats, who can face a felony criminal charge if caught. Anyone with information is asked to contact Hammond Police at 219-852-6490. The former Republican mayor of Portage, Indiana, James Snyder, was sentenced to 21 months in prison on Wednesday the 13th. 43-year-old Snyder was found guilty of accepting a $13,000 bribe from a trucking company and illegal tax evasion. Snyder was accused of taking the bribe in exchange for contracts to sell 5 garbage trucks to the city and using a shell company to hide income assets from the IRS. Snyder allegedly steered over $1.25 million in bids for the garbage truck contract to Great Lakes Peterbilt and asked for money for the company's owners in exchange for the assistance. Snyder claims the money was payment for consulting work that he declared on his income taxes. Great Lakes Peterbilt representatives claim Snyder pressured them for the money. Snyder was elected in 2011 and 2015. He was indicted in 2016 and removed from office in 2019. The Democratic mayor of Calumet City, Theodis Jones, is being accused of political bullying over the closing of the city's library. Jones, who is also a state lawmaker, ordered the library closed on October 8th, claiming that the library board members discovered malfeasance occurring at the facility. Reports state Jones alleges the board found computers and other unnecessary supplies purchased by employees for personal use. The accusations came after a board appointed by Jones ordered a forensic audit of the facilities. An article in the Tribune claims Jones did not involve the state's attorney or Illinois Attorney General in the investigation. Jones allegedly claimed that Calumet City Police stumbled upon the corruption scheme. The article claims that on Friday the 8th, 20 employees and patrons were told to get their belongings and leave the library. George Grenchick, who had served on the library board for about 5 years, reportedly went to find out what was going on. Following the library visit, he was removed as a trustee after being told to leave the premises by the mayor. The library will reportedly reopen on the 25th of October. The Illinois Gaming Board has delayed its decision on cutting a South Suburban casino contender. The Gaming Board is set to grant a license to 1 of 4 applicants by early January. It is currently reviewing 4 proposals for casinos. Calumet City has proposed a bid to develop a casino on the River Oaks Shopping Mall along with Delaware North Management Company. Wind Creek LLC has proposed a casino on the border of East Hazelcrest and Homewood. The Ho Chunk Nation has proposed a site in Linwood just east of Illinois 394. The Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma has joined the village of Madison on a bid on the former Lincoln Mall site on US 30 in Cicero. The board was set to cut one of the applicants from the bidding on Wednesday the 13th, but they delayed the decision until the 20th. The Calumet City bid was recently given a push by a famed sports legend, Bo Jackson. Jackson, who made his home in the southwest suburbs, has become a major investor in what is being called the Southland Live Casino in Calumet City. During the week, more news came out about additional area developments that continue to spark concerns among activists about area gentrification and displacement. In addition to new condominium developments, a movie studio, Invest Southwest Housing, and a proposed golf course, a new entertainment complex was announced in South Shore. A developer has announced they will begin developing a 7-screen, dine-in cinema, bowling alley, Creole restaurant, and rooftop event space on the corner of 71st and Jeffrey. The $20.5 million project will demolish the 98-year-old Jeffrey Theater and former Urban Partnership Bank. The development is planned to be completed in 2023. The development has received funding from the Chicago Community Trust and the City Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. Another development for a health and wellness hub that includes a yoga studio is set for development on 1840 East 71st Street. Activists have linked these and other area developments to the Obama Presidential Center. Many activists have claimed that the developments will push up rent and housing costs around South Shore and Washington Park, causing many area residents to be displaced.
Yes, they're going to displace all of us that they can. And they're already out asking people to sell their property. That's not right.
They have asked the city for stronger rent protection ordinances to prevent displacement, an increase in affordable housing, job set-asides for local residents, and support for black businesses already in the area. During the week, Fifth Third Bank announced a $20 million investment into South Chicago that sparked similar displacement fears among residents. The bank is partnering with the nonprofit development agency, the Clarishan Associates, to invest into the area. The Clarishans are receiving a $2 million grant that will help Fifth Third identify recipients for $18 million in loans. The Clarishan Associates plan on using a portion of their $2 million share on building a new housing development on 92nd and pushing a park to serve as a gateway to the river. While the riverfront is zoned for industry, the Clarishan Associates have been assisting other area organizers as part of the Calumet Connect, who have received similar funding from foundations with real estate ties in pushing for rezoning of the river. Area activists have raised concerns over what they view as investments in gentrification of the area. They have cited the development's impact on renters and homeowner tax increases and have seen them mainly as an attempt to attract wealthy investors rather than addressing existing community needs. These concerns were given some validation following interviews by the Clarishan Associates Director Angela Herlock and Fifth Third Bank Representative Rob McGee, who linked the funding and developments to plans for real estate on the old USX site. In an interview with WTTW, McGee specifically described how their interest in the investment was linked to real estate interests on the Southwark site.
All of our investments won't go towards projects that are already half baked or 3/4 of the way baked, but we want to also have a mixture of new development. I mean, there's 700 acres of vacant land in South Chicago, and I know Angela and her team are working on different ways of filling in those spots.
Herlock was also quoted in the Chicago Tribune as linking her work to the vacant Southwarks land. The Tribune states she said the work with Fifth Third Bank would help make the property more attractive for developers. She was quoted as saying, being a thriving neighborhood could attract greater interest for Southwarks. In a related story, during the week, organizers with the Calumet Connect held a series of events in order to push the group's Calumet River rezoning efforts. The groups held a series of visioning sessions and a bike ride to the river in order to plan actions around rezoning the river for recreation. The river is currently zoned for industrial and manufacturing uses. During one of the visioning sessions, the group held a small rally near the 100th Street Bridge where they are pushing for a new park near the yacht construction yards. The group, however, was met by signs left by area residents that claimed the river rezoning was linked to gentrification efforts. Signs were placed around the site, including street graffiti, that claimed the group's river rezoning was tied to gentrification and displacement. Area activists have begun raising more concerns over the gentrification priorities of the city, with residents urging a people-centered investment alternative. A demonstration of this was noted during the week as news stories broke of the struggles of Pastor Anthony Wright, who is fighting to bring a mental health center to South Chicago and Slag. The pastor held a fundraiser at the Ring of Hope Community Center on 74th and South Chicago Avenue in an attempt to fund the center. The pastor's goals are to use funds to renovate a building on 95th and Commercial to provide mental health and anti-violence services. During the mayoral term of Rahm Emanuel, the city cut half of its Chicago mental health clinics. Last year, Chicago Mayor Lightfoot announced grants for select organizations ranging from $240,000 to $350,000 for mental health services. However, activists claim these essential services are being underfunded as the city focuses tens of millions of dollars in resources on aiding private real estate developers. During the week, news stories began to pick up concerns Hegewisch residents have been raising over truck traffic. Residents showed video of large trucks going down residential streets in the area. According to one resident, her camera caught over 100 semis driving down 134th Street in one day. Despite signs stating a 5-ton limit on roads in Hegewisch, the video showed the trucks often ignore the limits and even stop signs. Residents raised concerns that the truck traffic poses a danger to people in the area. Video was shown of trucks too large for the road, hitting trees and jumping curbs. CBS News contacted CDOT, which claimed that speed bumps would be installed on the road. However, it is unclear whether this will stop the semis from using the roads or just present additional problems. In other area news, a welcome ending to a story of a missing area teen. A South Shore teen who went missing earlier in the month was found safe. 14-year-old Kaya Scott was reported missing on Tuesday the 5th. On Friday the 8th, police reported that she had been found and returned home safe. Area residents were treated to other welcome news during the week as United Legion One Nation, or ULAN, distributed Halloween costumes to area families. Founder Pete Keller and volunteers worked over the weekend providing free quality costumes for families and area youth to enjoy during the Halloween celebrations. ULAN continues to provide services and assistance to area families. Anyone interested in donating to the cause can visit the website ulan.life. And finally, before we end this week in review, the Ring of Hope, who was discussed earlier in the report, is accepting donations for those interested in supporting its efforts in Grand Crossing and South Chicago. Those interested in donating can follow the link, rosechicago.org. And that ends our weekly review for October 4th to October 18th, 2021. Thank you for joining us for this week in review. Peace.